The true origin of New York City. Towering skyscrapers pierce the mist. The Hudson glimmers. The city breathes. This is power. The Empire State Building, Wall Street, Times Square, the United Nations. We tell ourselves stories about this city, stories of freedom, of democracy, of the American dream. But what if I told you none of that is why it exists? Map 1609, Hudson River coastline. Long before Lady Liberty raised her torch, before there was a United States, even before the word America was fully understood, there was Mannahatta, an island of rolling hills, dense forests, and sparkling rivers. And its first people, the Lenape. For over 10,000 years they lived here, not as conquerors, but as stewards. They called this place home, not property, not real estate, home. Recreation, Henry Hudson's ship, the Half Moon, sailing into the harbor. Then, in 1609, a ship appears on the horizon. Henry Hudson, an Englishman sailing for the Dutch, lost, desperate, searching for a passage to Asia. Instead, he finds something far more valuable to Europe: beavers, thousands of them. In 17th century Europe, a beaver hat wasn't fashion, it was status, power, wealth. And Hudson? He just discovered the richest fur ground on the eastern seaboard. Dutch settlers building cabins on Manhattan, Lenape people nearby. 2 years later, the Dutch West India Company arrives. They build a crude fort, wooden huts, muddy paths. They call it New Amsterdam. And in 1626, Director General Peter Minuit makes a deal with the Lenape. 60 guilders, about $1,100 today, for Manhattan. But here's the truth they don't teach. The Lenape didn't believe they were selling land. To them, land cannot be owned. They thought they were agreeing to share it, to coexist. The Dutch saw a business transaction. That misunderstanding changed everything. New Amsterdam wasn't founded on liberty. It was founded on pelts. Beaver fur was worth its weight in gold. This wasn't a colony of ideals. It was a trading post, chaotic, multicultural, and obsessed with profit. While Boston preached religion and Philadelphia dreamed of peace, Manhattan asked one question: how much can we make? British warships sailing into harbor, Dutch flag lowered. In 1664, 4 British warships arrived. The Dutch surrender without firing a shot. The British rename it New York, after the Duke of York. But instead of tearing it down, they keep everything: the street grid, the laws, the culture of commerce. Because they're smart enough to realize the Dutch accidentally built the perfect machine for making money. Then came the 19th century and the immigrants. Irish fleeing famine, Italians escaping poverty, Jews running from persecution, all arriving at one place: New York. Boston had gatekeepers, Philadelphia had old families, but New York, it needed bodies, workers, hustlers, dreamers. It didn't just welcome immigrants, it devoured them and turned their desperation into energy. Between 1892 and 1954, Over 12 million passed through Ellis Island. They arrived with nothing and built everything. The subway, the bridges, the garment district, the American dream itself. Now, let's talk about the statue. The Statue of Liberty. She didn't arrive until 1886, over 250 years before the Dutch started trading beaver pelts. She's a beautiful symbol, but she's not the reason. The Broadway shows, the art museums, the $1 pizza slice, all symptoms, not causes. So why does New York exist? Not because of freedom, not because of democracy, but because of three things: geography, greed, and grit. A perfect harbor, a river into the continent, a location between empires, a culture that worships movement of goods, of people, of money, and generations of people who refuse to quit. New York was never meant to be America's capital. It became something better. America's engine, the world's stage. Next time you see that skyline, don't think of liberty. Think of a beaver slapping its tail in the water. Because that sound, that was the first beat of the greatest city on Earth. What city should we deconstruct next? Subscribe for more urban origins.